I'm going to continue my video series in elementary mathematics with a word problem. Why is that? Because that seems to be the hardest things kids have to do in school. And I know why. Alright, so let's get into this, shall we? Now, I did some videos years ago on word problems, but they didn't get watched very much, so we're going to do this now. Right now, as you can plainly see, I have 11 coins. Now, these 11 coins add up to 90 cents. Now, let's get into the problem, shall we? Right now, I have twice as many quarters as I do nickels. And I have 3 times as many dimes as I do nickels. And I have 5 times as many pennies as I do nickels. So, how many quarters, how many nickels, how many dimes, and how many pennies do I have? Okay. Here's the first mistake. Kids try to figure out the value of the coins. Don't do that. When you're dealing with a coin word problem, that's the last thing you want to do. The first thing you want to do is figure out how many coins you actually have. Okay. So, we know that we have 11 coins. How many of each kind of coin do we have? Alright. When you're figuring up rocks, okay, you say you toss a bunch of rocks into a pail or a bucket. Get a great big bucket, you toss a whole bunch of rocks in it. Do you try to figure out the value of the rocks, or do you figure out how many rocks you have in the bucket? There you go. Alright. So, how do we figure out how many quarters, how many dimes, how many nickels, and how many pennies do we have? We first figure out how many nickels we have. That's the easiest one. Alright, here we go. This says we have twice as many nickels as nickels, okay? This says we have 2 times as many nickels. That's the quarters. This says 3 times as many nickels. Of course, it represents the nickels. And then this says we have 5 times as many nickels. Okay? So we add 2 plus 3. There's a 1 right here. I know you don't see it, but there's a 1 right here. So 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5 makes 11. So you divide 11 by 11, and what do you get? You get 1. Now we know how many nickels we have. Now we have to figure out how many quarters, dimes, and pennies we have. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. So now we know we have 2 quarters. 3 times 1 is 3, so now we know we have 3 dimes. 5 times 1 is 5, so now we know that we have 5 pennies. So we have 2 quarters, 3 dimes, 1 nickel, and 5 pennies. And that gives you your 11 coins. Now we have to figure out the value of every one of these. How do we do that? Well, obviously, oops, hang on. Okay. If we take the 2 times 25 cents, we get 50 cents. If we take the 3 times 10 cents, we get 30 cents. If we take the 5 times 1 cent, we get 5 cents. And obviously, a nickel is worth 5 cents. So 50 cents plus 30 cents plus 5 cents plus 5 cents again makes 90 cents. And that's how you do that. Alright, if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them down here in the comments below. I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.